fantastic sketch act coming up next. They're very, very good, close personal friends of mine. So please, welcome to the stage, Stream of Piffle!
Ladies and gentlemen, as Minister for Overseas Reconstruction, I'm here today to give a detailed outline of the latest step in our continuing efforts to regenerate Iraq in its post-war scenario. I'm joined by a member of the United States government, Director of Covert...
Independent Scientific Observer.
Right, Independent Scientific Observer. Can I tell them your name? No. Right, him. Okay, I'd like to begin, if I may, by reading a statement on behalf of the government. When we were given a mandate by Parliament for this war, we perhaps did not fully appreciate the scale of the task ahead of us. There are now palpable signs of the shoots of recovery. This has been achieved with the cooperation of our friends in the world of commerce. Therefore, we are thrilled to announce the development of a project in the city of Basra that will stand as a shining monument of hope, freedom, democracy, and cash. Disneyland Basra opens July 2012. I see some of you have been excited into silence by that news, but I'd like to invite questions, if I may.
Felicia Bovine from the Crusader. I would like to draw the Minister's attention to an article in last Friday's edition. In this piece we outlined plans for a large-scale amusement complex, complete with 2 4-star hotels, extensive swimming leisure facilities, a 40,000-seater performance auditorium, franchises run by Pizza Hut, Subway, Dunkin' Donuts and Burger King, amongst others, and a list of ludicrously misjudged rides, such as Honey, I Shrunk the Kurds. What exactly in that report that you find inaccurate?
There is no Burger King. I mean, obviously, any large development is bound to cause some kind of inconvenience for the local community. We are fortunate in the fact that the local people here have been able to gain a bit of perspective on the matter, due to the fact that up until recently they've been bombed to buggery.
But do you not think that imposing on a shocked society a very alien structure of Western ideology is tantamount to a cultural blitzkrieg, or as far removed from so-called ideas of democracy and freedom than it's possible to get?
Someone's been reading Naomi Klein, haven't they? Now, look, in 1939 we took on the machinery of Nazi Germany. We fought that war side by side with a foe that commanded its hordes to march in terrifying unison, dressed in identical uniforms and enslaved by sinister iconography. We fought that war so that we could preserve the very freedom, no, basic human right, to enjoy the Disney parade. With our parade, there's the added frisson that's provided by the very, very real danger of improvised roadside bombs. For the dads.
Larry Foxtrot, the Didcot Parkway. There is one facet of this proposal that has caused the most controversy, and that's the Abu Ghraib experience. The photo experience.
Look, it's quite simple. I don't know why you haven't got it. It's quite simple. For 1999, you can relive the experience of a terror suspect. You can be urinated on by Goofy, have your testicles attached to a car battery by Huey, Dewey and Louie, or bring a friend and you can be forcibly placed into homosexual positions by Scrooge McDuck. All in all, a memento of a magical, magical day. But there's a sincerity here too. This is an attempt by us to fuse the merriment of Disney with the cultural integrity of Iraq.
But that's just meaningless.
Yes, it probably is, really. But you have to remember that for many of these people, the memory of these atrocities is still very, very raw. And we have to play on that. I think it's our duty. Next!
Jen Hardacre, Boston Strangler. I think you're missing the point. To outsiders looking in, this is just another landmark on the, to borrow a phrase from the Bush administration, roadmap to peace. A roadmap that is strewn with civilizations destroyed and rebuilt for, I'm ashamed to say it, U.S. corporate profit. I put it to you that this is nothing but a stain on the reputation of the West. Another example of the death, destruction, torture, and corporatism of the West. And to be honest, it's a downright disgrace.
Well, it's very easy to say that. Another question.
Janice Whipsnade, Yorkshire Ripper. I appreciate the minister's honesty.
Thank you.
I haven't finished.
Oh, sorry.
What direct benefits will the people of Basra get from having a Disneyland in their city, eh? People have lost their limbs in that conflict. Will any of the profits get to these people, eh? Or will the be satisfying shareholders, eh?
Well, it's interesting you should mention limbs, because we've introduced a kind of loyalty scheme, whereby for every limb that's been lost in this conflict, you receive a complimentary burger. The limbs have to have been lost in this conflict, though. We don't want people abusing our generosity. We're also offering the local people jobs.
Yeah. People used to be lawyers, doctors and teachers.
I know, they're bloody difficult jobs. I think they'll be glad of the rest. Look, I think this will be an ideal opportunity for us to bring out one of the local people who is going to benefit from this scheme. Mohammed here is one of the first to enroll on the Disneyland New Start program. Mohammed tragically lost his legs in one of the bloodiest days of this conflict, defending his city from dissidents.
A conflict your government started.
Now let's not nitpick. Now, most people in his condition would be considered pretty much useless. But at Disneyland Basra they can be lavatory attendants, dwarves. Not front of house though. We did consider having them enforcing the height restrictions for the children on the rides, but felt that as they didn't meet many of the restrictions themselves, that would be a cruel irony. Unfortunately, we've had to gag and bag Mohammed because he does tend to get a little bit overexcited. But if he could talk now, I'm sure he'd be saying, I bloody love this idea.
Minister, Camille Onodil. I write for Film Ponce magazine and am resident professor of animation history at Brunel University.
That's not a real job, is it?
My concerns, Minister, are about Disney's checkered history of questionable attitudes towards stereotypes and race. How can such an organisation ever truly be accepted by a culture so different to our own?
Now, come on. The modern Disney has shown itself to be a progressive force for the good. I mean, they've just had their first black princess. That was good. And who knows, very soon we could have our first towelhead princess. And that will be good too. But let's not run before we can walk. Or in the case of Mohammed here, let's not hop quickly before we can hop slowly. Or crawl. Look, I know there are many of you that have your doubts about this project. But by giving these people the opportunity to dress up as mice, ducks, dogs, and whatever the fuck Goofy is, by giving them the opportunity to welcome fat Texans to their city, asking where the John is, we are in some small way restoring their dignity. Disneyland Basra, where it's always sunny and never Shiite.
What about the Kurds?
That's bloody Turkey's problem. We ask you, Britain, to lend your full support to this project because it will make life a whole lot easier when the Americans tell us that that's what we're going to be doing anyway. Anything to add?
Yeah, I got a message for the people of Iraq and the homosexual left-leaning media establishment. This is not up for debate. You have no choice. Mickey Mouse is coming and he's going to rain down shit on all you sons of bitches. And you're going to take it. And you're going to eat it. You're gonna wash it down with a goddamn Coke. Any of you guys got a problem with that? Uncle Sam is gonna skull fuck you good. Period. Bring your kids, it'll be swell.
Hearts and minds, hearts and minds. Well, thank you very much for coming. That just about wraps things up. Thank you for the questions. We're off with Mohammed now to go waterboarding, which sounds awful fun. I hope you've brought your trunks. Oh, I can be such an arse, can't I? Don't worry, we'll get you back on your feet in no time. If we can find them.
Piffle, ladies and gentlemen!
I love those guys. Yeah, we're going to go straight to the next act, but I just want to very, very quickly tell you that Stream of Piffle will be performing at Edinburgh this year, so if everyone's going down to the festival,